At this point, Ubisoft should just drop the Assassin's Creed title to their games. I enjoyed playing Shadows, but I really don't think of it as an Assassin's Creed game. And I also don't think it's like a great game or anything, it's just fine. To me, the franchise died when the credits to Origins rolled. Now, of course, part of the enjoyment was also because I received the game via the Ubisoft Creator Program, so thank you Ubisoft for not making me pay for your mediocre games. Anyway, Shadows is fun, but it has issues that a AAA company like Ubisoft should not be having. It is inexcusable, especially when this is considered to be their make it or break it game. On top of that, I don't understand why Ubisoft is so afraid of taking risks. Shadows is nothing new compared to their RPG predecessors. Yes, there's some refinement here and there, but it's still nothing new. You've played this before, it's just a different setting. The game is set in feudal Japan, specifically the late 1500s. One of the main historical events that kickstarts the story is Oda Nobunaga's assault on the Iga province, and of course, there's been a lot of controversy surrounding this game and its historical accuracy, but Assassin's Creed isn't and has never been historically accurate. It's historical fiction. It's a game treated like one. Though there's cryptic animus ego stuff, there's no proper present-day narrative, which was a little odd. While there is the whole Assassins vs Templar situation in the game, it feels like an afterthought almost, which is why I don't think this is a good Assassin's Creed game. You play as two different protagonists, Naoe, an Egan shinobi trying to retrieve a box her father died protecting while also seeking revenge, and Yasuke, initially a slave bodyguard to Jesuit priests but trains and becomes a samurai after Oda Nobunaga takes an interest in him. The story itself is compelling enough. It's not too deep. I mean, it's your classic revenge and hero journey trope, but it's done well enough. Naoe and Yasuke's personal stories were interesting, and they're pretty likable as protagonists. Even most of the side characters and companions introduced in the game are interesting, especially Junjiro. I would literally die for him. My issue with the game was the balancing between the two characters. You start the prologue as Yasuke, where they explain how he got here in the first place and all, but then once you switch to Naoe's story, you only play as her for like a good 8-9 hours before their paths cross and Yasuke even becomes a playable character. Yasuke's story doesn't feel as important. There are certain aspects which make you want to know more about him, but I feel like he would have done better as a side character. I guess they made him a main protagonist so you can have samurai combat as well. Naoe's story, on the other hand, is well fleshed out from the moment we start playing as her. She's someone who has suffered great loss and is on a mission. It feels personal. Her story carries a sense of nostalgia. It reminds you of the OG Assassin's Creed characters. Perhaps if this game didn't have the RPG elements, went back to its roots and only focused on Naoe as a character, it could have been a very good Assassin's Creed game. But nope, Ubisoft is busy doing Ubisoft things. Shadows does have a lot of cutscenes and dialogues, which is fine for me, but what in the world is this pathetic voice acting?
Lines are whimpering for days.
Where are the facial animations? Where is the dialogue delivery? Shadows has some of the worst cutscene direction I've ever seen, which makes the cutscenes feel longer than they really are. Such things are inexcusable when you are a company as big as Ubisoft. The dialogue choices are also inconsequential. You're better off going with the canon mode setting in the options. This also locks you out of romancing people, and those getting triggered by optional gay romance, remember, you control the buttons you press. The stealth in Shadows is a lot of fun. The AI is still very dumb, but increasing the stealth difficulty to expert really makes it more enjoyable. Hiding in the shadows matters, literally. Naoe can eliminate light sources and remain hidden in the darkness. They finally added prone, so that makes stealth even more engaging. Some higher level enemies cannot be one-shot with your hidden blade. I personally didn't mind that, it just made me approach situations differently using the eagle vision and the variety of tools available. Tools mid-combat can be a little annoying to use, and for some reason you can't use them when prone. I wish that gets changed. There is an accessibility setting to make assassinations one shot if that's your preference. As for the combat, it's nothing crazy, it's alright. You have your normal light and heavy attacks, blocks and parries. It's fun, but parrying feels a little off. Sometimes the input doesn't register, which again, inexcusable. Naoe can fight. Apart from the hidden blade, she has 3 weapons to use for combat. But she is weaker, she deals less damage and has less health. Yasuke, on the other hand, can melt his enemies. He is truly a one-man army. He has 5 different weapons he can use. Both have their own strengths and weaknesses, so working around them can be fun. I mainly played as Naoe, as I just enjoy sneaking up on enemies and killing them, but Yasuke can be fun as well. Yasuke's weapon ability attacks are amazing. I really like the animation on them. I do wish there was slight more variety. Your companions can also help you mid-fight if you call them. Different companions have different abilities and things that they can do. There are multiple skill trees to upgrade for both characters. To get access to more unlocks in the skill tree, you will have to gain knowledge ranks, which can be done by doing side activities in the world like meditating as Naoe or practicing kata as Yasuke. There are other ways too. They don't take much time and it's a very nice way to incorporate side content. You can also upgrade the weapons and armor or add passes to them at your forge. I never really bothered to do that as I always found a weapon or armor that matches my current level organically. If anything, the only reason I went searching for armor was fashion, and once I found what I was looking for, I never bothered again. Speaking of the forge, one of my favorite things in the game was the hideout. You can literally decorate and customize your hideout however you want. You can place different buildings, upgrade them, and just have fun with it. It was a very chill activity, and the buffs the building gives are also pretty helpful. When it comes to missions, most of them follow the same loop. You pick an objective from your giant board, it gives you clues to pinpoint the general location of where you have to go. I enjoyed trying to find the location myself, but if you're someone who doesn't like that, you can simply send in scouts. You have a limited amount, and once you use them, it's okay because you can just hire some more. I really like the scout mechanic as it really made me feel like I was running a brotherhood. The side content is also pretty decent in my opinion. It doesn't really feel as bloated. Most of it doesn't even take too long and almost everything has an incentive. Either they give you knowledge rank or just a temporary buff. You can meditate, pray at shrines, sit and paint to relax, do horse archery challenges, or you can just pet all the cats and dogs you see. You can also raid some locations or castles for loot. A lot of the side quests are simply assassination circles and I love those. This could be boring and repetitive for some people though. The game has a codex if you're interested in the history and lore of different locations and things. There's also a battle pass. It is free and can be completed in game itself, but I don't understand why the game needed one in the first place. Now the world itself obviously looks gorgeous. Ubisoft never misses with that. There's lots of different cities and villages, different castles to raid. However, they lack personality in my opinion. I just wish the cities felt a little more alive. I did enjoy being out in the world exploring though. Parkour didn't really feel fun. Sometimes it feels a little stiff and there's no telling what's really climbable or not. Parkour also feels redundant while climbing the taller buildings thanks to the grappling hook Naoe has. The dynamic weather change was pretty cool. Though it really had no effect on the gameplay in my opinion like it was meant to, it was nice to see the weather change every now and then. You don't get bored of seeing the same map over and over again. Ambient sounds while traveling through the world was nice. It really made you feel like you're a part of the world. But what in the world was the music used for fights in some of the cutscenes? It was so bad, it felt so out of place. Not a single memorable track, which is disappointing because sound is so important. Technical state-wise, my game did crash a few times due to a DirectX error. Hopefully they fixed that. In-game, I had nothing game-breaking apart from NPCs not dying after I assassinate, which also only happened like 2-3 times. The game ran super smooth for me at 2K on all high settings. My PC specs are in the description. The game having microtransactions is off-putting. There's no reason a game that's already so expensive needs so many microtransactions. Hopefully Ubisoft decides to curb their greed and start focusing on making great games again. And despite all the negative aspects of the game, I still don't really think it's a bad game. I had fun. It's a pretty chill game and definitely feels like a step in the right direction. I'm also someone that plays a lot of games, so I don't expect every game to be insanely good. However, if you're someone who plays a very limited amount of games, I will not recommend this game to you because there are way too many games out there that deserve your time and money over this. But let's say you're interested even the slightest. I still don't recommend you buy this at full price. It doesn't deserve it. Wait for a sale. Ubisoft does sales very frequently, or you could just play through Ubisoft Plus. I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you're interested in more reviews. Thank you so much for watching.